hazardous chemical scare. A tank filled with a potentially harmful chemical overheats, nearly forcing an evacuation.
Teachers with guns. It was once an idea, but it will now become a reality for some Alabama schools.
Staring down the barrel of a gun.
I see this guy pointed a gun at me, and I started begging him not to shoot me.
How these siblings say faith helped them escape the clutches of an armed intruder.
NBC 15 News at 6 starts now.
Making landfall. Tropical storm Alberto wreaks havoc along the Gulf Coast, bringing strong winds, heavy rainfall, and deadly rip currents. NBC 15 News is tracking Alberto's path.
Jesus Christ.
Swift flood waters sweep through one Maryland city in a matter of 2 hours. Could a similar thing happen to us here in the port city? We take a look at our infrastructure. Honoring the fallen. Across the nation, Americans pay homage to those who have fought and died for our country. How local residents pay their respects despite the threat of severe weather. NBC 15 News at 6 starts now. We continue our code red weather coverage tonight. This means NBC 15 News is bringing you extended weather coverage. New video just into the NBC 15 newsroom shows Tropical Storm Alberto making a landfall west of Panama City Beach. A number of other areas were caught in the crosshairs of Alberto. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's special Code Red coverage. We have a team of reporters right now working to bring you a first-hand look at conditions across the Gulf Coast. We began with NBC 15's Cassie Fambro in Panama City Beach, Florida. Be prepared and weather aware. As thousands prepare to flock to our local beaches, tropical weather is set to come our way during one of the busiest times of the year. What you need to know to stay safe.
Not in my classroom. Vaping has become a growing trend among adults. It's now making its way into grade schools. The initiative local schools are taking to put a stop to it.
They gave their lives for our freedom.
It's kind of giving a memory to those who have fought for us.
The local students honoring our fallen soldiers.
Going to court, St. Paul's filing a lawsuit claiming a new rule is unfair and dangerous. How this could impact local and state high school sports.
NBC 15 News at 6 starts now.
Well, the tropical system is heading into our area. It is set to bring dangerous rip currents, strong wind, and heavy rain.
We have a team of reporters working right now to help you prepare for the incoming threat on one of the busiest weekends of the year, the unofficial start to summer.
And we begin with Chief Meteorologist Chris Dunn. Chris, it is a bit early for weather like this, isn't it?
A sheriff's deputy arrested for child rape in and out of jail in less than 2 hours. Tonight, we take a look at why the system works so quickly for this deputy, but not for everyone else.
Smashed to pieces. A car collides with a Wave transit bus.
When that guy turned in front of the bus, he couldn't stop.
What witnesses say may have caused the crash that sent 5 people to the hospital.
Confusion on where to cast your vote.
They did something they were not supposed to do.
How a 2012 mistake led to voter confusion.
If you want food stamps, you'll have to earn the government assistance, a requirement that could soon go into effect, and what lawmakers in Alabama are saying about it.
NBC 15 News at 6 starts now. We begin with breaking news. A Foley man is locked up tonight, accused of molesting 2 children.
It allegedly happened years ago, starting in 2007, but it is only now coming to light. Greg Fountain faces a list of charges, including rape, sodomy, and sexual abuse. He's in the Baldwin County Jail tonight with no bond.
A Mobile County Sheriff's deputy facing nearly identical charges walked out of Mobile's jail in less than 2 hours yesterday.
A grand jury indicted Lieutenant Paul Bailey on rape, sodomy, and sexual abuse charges. The victims between the ages of 12 and 16. His bond was set at $127,000 plus a cash component. Bailey managed to deal with all of that, get his mugshot taken, and get back on the street in about an hour and a half.
Tonight, NBC 15's Nicole Fierro investigates the question so many of you ask, could this be a case of special treatment? So
do you think it's fair how quickly the deputy was able to post bond after he was arrested on those stomach-churning charges? We want to hear your thoughts on the matter.
Call our hotline right now at 855-VOICE-15 or send us your video comments to burst.com/MyNBC15. We want your best 15 seconds.
Give us your first name and where you're calling from, and we might just play your voice on NBC 15 News.
We have an update to breaking news we have been following all day. 5 people were taken to the hospital after a car collided with a Wave City bus today. One of those injured has life-threatening injuries. NBC 15's Andrea Ramey arrived on scene right after the crash. Hail of gunfire. A shooting in Panama City forces many to take cover. How this tense scene may have started from a suspicious death 40 miles away.
Deadly but justified. Fairhope police released body camera video showing the moments officers fired shots at a man they say pointed a shotgun at them.
Broken beyond repair. A frustrated resident asking for help after she says the city has done nothing to fix her sidewalk. Why it has taken the city years to address the problem.
Not one, not two, but 3 people bitten by foxes. One of those animals has been captured, testing positive for rabies. Another still on the loose tonight. The warning animal control has for residents in Baldwin County.
NBC 15 News at 6 starts now.
Breaking news, a barrage of gunfire aimed at police and sheriff's deputies. Neighbors also trapped by the hail of bullets coming from an accused murderer.
Tonight, brand new information about the hours-long standoff that only ended once the madman was dead. This all started this morning in Santa Rosa County, Florida, with a murder investigation.
Investigators found 30-year-old Clinton Street dead at a house in Santa Rosa Beach this morning. Street was from Shelby County, Alabama, near Birmingham. Law enforcement searched for hours and finally found the suspected killer, Kevin Holroyd, in his apartment in Panama City.
Deputies say he booby-trapped the place, pouring gasoline in a second-floor apartment, then unleashed dozens of bullets on the police officers and deputies who showed up to arrest him.
2 Panama City officers and a Bay County deputy sheriff were pinned down in their vehicles along Beck Avenue. Here, they were unable to move from behind their vehicles, and they were taking numerous rounds from the subject. There were other officers in the area that were also pinned down in the area of the apartment complex. As other units began to arrive, we began working together to try to respond to this situation. We were able to get an armored vehicle from the sheriff's office, so we were able to come in and rescue the downed officers.
Witnesses say as many as 50 shots were fired. No first responders were injured, although one civilian living nearby was hit by a bullet. That person expected to be okay. That armored vehicle was used to get other neighbors to safety.
Deputies eventually raided the apartment where they found Holroyd dead. It's not clear whether he shot himself.
Investigators say it appears he was trying to light a flare to ignite the gas he poured all over that apartment.
And the motive for the murder of Clinton Street in Santa Rosa County is under investigation. From calls to fire to calls of praise. Tonight we show you the people now showing support for the head football coach facing backlash over the beating of one of his players. One brilliant mind. After earning more than $2 million in scholarships, a decision has been made on where to begin the next chapter in education.
NBC 15 News at 6 starts now.
The adults who run the school system here allowed a culture of a fight club called hazing to exist for years, and it must stop now.
Calls have been coming for the Davidson High football coaches to be fired after the beating of a 14-year-old freshman in the locker room.
Well, the victim's family sued the school district for $12 million, alleging an unsafe culture was allowed to exist at Davidson. Tonight, former players and supporters are fighting back, defending head coach Fred Riley.
NBC 15's Andrea Ramey spoke with one group making their support known. Andrea?